It's live on the website too. It's live on the website.
Okay. Oh yeah, no problem. Hey guys, it's your girl Sach'eMI, Speak Your Truth. I'm in the studio. I have a great guest for you. His name is Demi D. He has his own podcast on YouTube. You guys need to go check it out. And it's called If You Ask Me. Now, this super dope, because when I checked him out, I was like, wow, he's talking about music. And most people don't talk about just the all around aspect of music. When I tell you he goes deep, he goes deep. He go into verses, he go into albums, he goes to music back in the day up until now. He's definitely dope, and you guys definitely need to check him out. So hey, Demi D, how are you?
It's good. Appreciate that too. Hell of an intro. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for coming on the show and showing me love. Like Sach'eMI, we appreciate you so much. So thank you again.
No doubt, no doubt. Thanks for
So
having me.
let people know how you got started with if you ask me with your podcast. Like, what made you want to do that?
Because I've been wanting to be a part of this, just the music. You know, I used to do music, and then I kind of switched it up. I really stopped doing music, but I still want to be a part. Like, I enjoy talking about it, being around creatives. So I just was like, damn, how can I, come up with something that would still show me and something I would enjoy and that I could still connect with people. And, YouTube and podcasts, all this shit, that's what it is right now. So
No, it is.
I just thought like, yo, what would be something different? And I feel like what I do is different in a sense. Like, there's really no like debate desk, like face off like with sports and shit. So I felt like that would be a good lane for me. I know a lot of people. I'm outgoing. I like to meet people, and I feel like, I know how to speak. I could be in front of the camera. I feel it'll work in my favor.
That's unique because when I was looking, I was just like, you have different segments, and I just thought that was very unique how you do that because a lot of times you talk about music so much, but I think that we don't really go in depth when we talk about music. I just think that we don't go back into the actual foundation of people who started and up until now and what it means to have music. But you definitely goes into different segments when you talk about music. Like you go to different albums. So speak on that. Like how do you know what segment you're gonna do?
Oh, well, first of all, thank you for noticing that because I definitely feel like I do get hit different angles and it's not beating a dead horse. I mean, the segments vary, man. They vary as far as I've had a lot of guests. I deal with different guests, ages, different ages, different backgrounds. So it kind of depends on the guest. Some I know better than others, so I know what they rock with and what I'll get out of them from a subject. But what I usually do is I send people a list and I get an idea of the music they like, what they vibe to, artists, and then I just come from there. I'm like a rap geek, so I'm thinking about shit nobody even really thinking about.
No, that's true.
So I just it just comes to me half the time. Some of the shit is, shit we've done before and heard about, but I just feel like having different people don't speak on it helps, even if it's something that's been spoken about already. But like you said, we do albums, we do battles, we do favorite verses, we do... we had I just did one where we talk about Freddie Gibbs' catalog. We just vary, man. There's so much music, like you
keep
said.
it up to date. Like you keep it very up to date, and that's what I like because each segment is like, okay, like you did the Diplomats, so you went back in time, like they were dope, they were hot, and so the fact that you went back in time and you having people really discuss what music is, I think that even TV is kind of missing that strong foundation, and I think that you're setting that, and you should keep it going because it breaks down everything, especially in music at this time. For the ones who don't know, they need to tune in to really learn, like the Diplomats, the verses and what the verses meant, and just the album and how strong albums were and weren't compared to back then up until now. And even artists that was back then, you can still compare how the albums were and how the albums are now. So I think that you have that's kind of like genius, like you breaking it down. You're not just hitting it with just all at one time, but you're really taking it piece by piece, like a paragraph, kind of like a story in a sense. It's kind of like a story because you're breaking it down into what music really is. So what feedback do you get when people come on the show?
I mean, it's kind of, I don't know what to say. I can't front. It's kind of overwhelming. It's a little surprising. Like I said, I've been doing other endeavors and creative shit, and I've gotten good responses. But being from New York, you know how I go out here. So it's like, I'm not going to say I'm very happy. Very happy with the feedback. A lot of people come through, participate. For the most part, you know how I go when you running shit. You get your cancels, you get your people.
Of course.
unprepared or late, whatever. But for the most part, man, it's been really great. I'm up to maybe about 35 different people now.
Oh, that's a lot.
It's a lot. I mean, because you get caught up in setting shit up and trying to make it happen. You don't really look at shit like that.
Of course.
So the other day, somebody was like, yo, man, you need to fall back. Like, yo, you've had how many people come out of their crib and sit down with you on their spare time. So I try to be thankful for shit like that. I've had someone come from Philly. I've had people from New Jersey. People travel. I have other people who hit me up that want me to do what you call that, video chat from other states, but I ain't really trying to go there yet though. But
that's amazing though.
It's a good feeling.
That's a good feeling.
I had people tell me like, yo, I wish I lived in New York. So I was like, yo, that's kind of dope. Cause I'm on Twitter heavy though. Let me really expand that. I'm on Twitter heavy, so a lot of the reception comes from Twitter. I meet a lot of people from there. So yeah.
That's networking too.
That's networking. I met a lot of people off Twitter who's come to the show, or
because you never know who you're gonna meet. You never know who you may have that's really like in that lane that can come and sit into one of your podcasts and really have you ask them questions about exactly that topic.
Right.
And you're familiar with the topic, so it's not like you tell people to come to your podcast and you don't know what you're talking about.
Right. That's the thing.
Like it's very interesting. Like you have to go. Like you're very energized when you're talking about different topics in your segments. You know exactly what you're talking about, and you guys have to definitely go check him out. Like he's gonna get into his YouTube and his Instagram, but you guys really got to go check him out because I think it's more like the barbershop. Like even though I'm not a male,
but you know what it is.
But it's kind of like a homie. Like I get like a homie vibe, like a chill vibe where people can go and express exactly what they may want to say in their home, but they get to say it on your podcast.
Right.
But just in a way wherein they know exactly what they're speaking about, or their feelings and their opinions about music heavy. Because a lot of people know about music, but they don't have no one to talk to about it.
They don't have no one, especially this older music. The older music, because like you say, I even go past 2000. I go to late 80s because I've been listening to rap for forever. But that's a good point you made. A lot of people, even on my Twitter, they hit me up just to convo and they see like, I don't bite nobody's heads off.
No, you don't. You be chill.
Yeah, I mean, people I'm more comfortable with. You could probably tell.
Mm-hmm.
You probably
of
go
course,
at
that
it a
happens.
little harder,
Yeah.
I try to make everybody feel at least comfortable at first, and then then
you get into it, the debate, because that's what people want to see anyway.
That's what people want to see.
But it gets heated.
Info, like you said, info.
And it gets heated too, especially when you're talking about like just things in general that you love and that you're passionate about. It'll come across that way.
Right.
But that just means that it's special. That just means that you're doing a great job. Point blank, period. If you could get people like that, especially people want to come on and they want to talk about music, I think that's a homie feeling. I feel like more men, I think, would take to that. To me, I think more men would take to that.
Definitely more, but I mean, because I get into that with I've had some women before I had and tell me like, oh, we love hip hop too. Listen, it's catered to everyone, but like you said, there's most dudes really sit there and really gonna talk about the shit all day, every day. But on surprising tip, I can't front on Twitter and even some of my on Facebook. There's a lot of women who love it too, and I've had a few guests on there, and they were knowledgeable and they were able to hold their own and go toe to toe. I've had older gentlemen, I had a couple of other different races, so I had somebody from Russia.
What? Clap it up for that. Clap it up. You said Russia? What?
Russia,
I need to network
shout
with
out
you.
to Struggle to Preacher, my guy, you already.
Yes, I'm proud of you. Like you really, and you doing this on your own.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I want to take a second to really, for the most part, do it by myself, but I do have people that play in hand. I'm sure you know how that goes. I want to shout out my cameraman, James Shaw.
Shout out to him, yes.
Got to shout out Stromac. He gives me one of the venues I could use to record from.
Oh, nice.
Got to shout out my guy, Dutch Anthems. He appears on regularly. Sometimes last minute, sometimes double.
But he shows up.
Double schedule. I'm saying, no, sometimes I hear him last minute and he'll come through. Double schedule, double segments. And I gotta shout out my guy Jason Bourne, man, definitely.
Yes, Jason.
You know how the guy goes.
Yeah, I know. Right. Shout out to Jason.
Me to a lot of different people, and we just connect at a lot of events. You know how we do with that.
Yes.
So
so powerful.
I keep it kicking, but there's people that lend me a hand. But I do want to. Somebody told me about like an internship type program.
Oh yes, those are great too.
What? I could take that right about now.
Absolutely, and I think that you're already starting like your foundation already now, so you know what you want to do, and that's just to even brush up even more and to network with more people, because you have something I feel like that's solid as a personality. When you watch it, I felt like, oh wow, like me and him have some like similar traits. and what we do, it's so organic. And that's when I looked, I was just like, no, it's conversation. Everything is just like so relaxed, but people are so engaged in conversation, and no one is feeling like, oh my God, I have this pressure. If I say this, I may make somebody feel upset.
Someone
That's
did
not
tell me
what
that. I'm glad that's the vibe.
No,
that
not
gives
because
off.
I pay
Someone
attention,
was telling
and
me
I went through your segment, so I was able to see like people were just so engaged to just be there, and I think that's unique.
Thanks.
That's unique. So where do you see yourself going with this? Like, where do you want to take it?
I really want it to be like a real platform, like a real show, something that's picked up or sponsored. Like I don't know the name of this show, but I seen this fool, and not fool in a bad way, but this fool who goes around eating
Food.
but
I don't know his name. So many of them.
no, but
now.
infused food.
Mm-mm.
So he's just going around eating infused food with marijuana, weed.
Wow.
And it's just like they picked that up. So I know there's an audience for everything.
No, it is.
So that's really what I want to try to get to that point. Even if it's like some public access shit, something that's getting pushed out more and just getting routinely seen. I'm trying to just build my viewership up right now. So, I mean, I got the content. I got plenty of episodes. I'm just trying to build more guests, just expand and having something I could do regularly, like for real.
Yeah, and I think it's possible, and you got to put that in the universe, it's because you're already starting the groundwork, and you seeing your vision, and exactly, you have the knowledge of it. So that's power. Anything is power when you have knowledge. Definitely. So when you have knowledge, you could definitely make it work. Like stay connecting, networking, and doing what you're doing, because you definitely have something great.
Thanks, appreciate that.
And where did you get the name, If You Ask Me? Because when I went, I was like, okay, that's a unique name to call a podcast, If You Ask Me. Like, that was cool.
Good looking. Well, first I want to say, like, yo, I didn't just pop up with it. You asked me before what made me want to do it. But I pondered on it for like at least 9-10 months. Like, is it even worth it? You know how that goes. Yep. Is it worth it? Am I going to have enough material? Is niggas really going to watch this shit? Should I bother them? So, after I got over all of that, it was just time for a name. And it's like, I'm here and there pretty much giving my opinion. So it's like, if you ask me, such and such ain't all that. Such and such is all that. So, I don't know, I felt like it stuck and it had a nice ring. I ran it past like 2 or 3 people.
You have to do that. That's an artist. That's an art. You're an artist. You may not be a singer or rapper, but this is artistry. And you're artist when you do those things. And I see that a lot now, that people are really, really putting their forefront and their ideas to the front. Like, they ask opinions, but when you so into what you're doing, I noticed that you like, I have so many ideas, but I definitely need to run it to this person, but it's my idea.
Sometimes
you know what I mean? Yeah. And that makes you an actual artist, because you're into what you're doing. Someone is not just telling you what to do, but these are your ideas, and you're interested because you know exactly what you love to do. Right. It's a difference from you not knowing and you knowing exactly what you want to, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you're asking for advice, because it's always good to ask for advice.
Always. Don't forget that.
It's always good to ask for advice. And if you ask me, and I was like, okay, that's cool, because it's not like thrown at you. You know when you see a show or something like that, and it's just thrown at you, but it's not thrown. It's like, I don't know. People just have to go watch it for them to understand exactly what I'm saying.
That's true too. It is hard to.
Like it's hard. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you have to literally watch it, because when you say, if you ask me, it's kind of like, what do you mean? And then you go, and then when you click on it, and then you come on, it's like, okay, now I get it, because now it's yours. So now, if you ask me, it's not looked at anybody else. It's looked at towards you. Right.
That's what I was going for too. Make sure it's something that's not everything. Even with my name, Demi D, everything I try to do as far as with that aspect, definitely try to have something that's like real easy to click and find. Nothing that you gotta put underscore 2 29s and 2 numbers. Like,
I know, it could be so difficult, right? Yeah. And people ask you, how can I find you? You like, wait, hold on, wait. You just want to make it real simple, but something that's also unique towards yourself of why you're doing it. So what's the purpose behind it? Like, your story, like really get into the ground root of it. Because I know it's the story of why you want to do it. Even though you love music, but the story of why you feel like you want to bring this out.
I just feel
and you wanted to push it.
I feel like it's time, man. I just feel like it's time. I feel like there's a certain group of people like myself that had the chance to listen to a lot of this music when we were younger, and now have the chance to review it as men.
Oh, wow.
There's not a lot of people who fall into that because either you was already 25 or 30 when Rakim and them came out, you was a grown man already, or you got these young kids like you're still young, so you haven't gotten to that new experience where now you could go back to that song where you was listening to when you was 15 and be like, oh shit.
I remember.
Or now I understand, or you really, really understand. So I just feel like there's a lane for that. Like that's what makes me want to do. I feel like I'm the one. I'm the chosen one.
Hello.
I'm the
Put
one.
that out there.
For real, I'm the
Listen.
chosen one. I've been in this music as far as just loving it, indulging in it, buying music, talking music. I listen to a variety of music, you know, from, like I said, back to 80s, underground, commercial. And I just feel like I can articulate it, my opinions. I feel like I can make people comfortable coming to the show. I'm glad you picked up on that because I was talking to somebody about that. And they said that, I never really looked at that. They said the environment itself is like a cool environment. You don't got to worry about judgment to a certain extent. Because you know when you start saying opinions. You start talking, you know, this is everybody going, especially when you say you get passionate. But that's what makes me want to do. I feel like there's a lane for it. I feel like first of all, YouTube is the shit. I know people are on IG, they on Twitter, they on this, they on that. But people are still on YouTube and watch a lot of shit on there. So I feel like, you know, for guys who don't listen to Little Uzi Vert or Little Yachty or Young Thug or Dave East or they still want to talk rap and they know about the shit and they knowledgeable. So, you know, just give them a platform. Like I said, I'm the one, man. I'm the one. Like, to talk to a 45-year-old and could talk to a 30-year-old, 25-year-old, you know?
No, exactly. You gotta be versatile, especially in this music industry. Like you have to know exactly. Like sometimes I think what makes you an expert when you could go back in the times, and we're very young. But when you could go back in time, that just means you're so soulful of music itself, and that speaks volume because even today they still go back in time and talk about music back in time. They still go back in time and talk about the history of it. So the fact that you're making a podcast about it, because there's so many podcasts about sports, but there's not really like, I feel like that's not in the celebrity era that has that plateau right now, but you.
Yeah, they kind of
I
stick
feel,
to,
as far as music-wise.
Yeah, they kind of stick to what's out now or what's latest. They don't really
go back.
They don't really go back, or they don't really dissect. Because even if I don't go too far back, even if I only go 4 years back, right? We got a segment that we talked about J. Cole. But it's like no one's really breaking down the album. Why did you like it? Why you feel it's his best album?
Right.
How much you feel he improved from the last, yada, yada, yada. Like, there's so many different, aspects you always can touch. Yeah.
But that's only somebody that really knows about music.
That's only someone who really
like, that's only somebody that knows about music that can really do that. Certain people going to be like, I like his last album. And they may not know, you know what I'm trying to say? Because they haven't really studied.
Right.
So when you studied and you love music, it's only right for you to come to the forefront and say, no, that I've been through A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and everybody. And I can discuss everybody. And that's what upholds an actual podcast of music. You get what I mean? It just does. It just that because everyone wants to talk about music, but nobody has a home to do so. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they just don't. And it's like a home for everything, but I think that's where you come in at as being like that home. And even bringing in the young boys, they need to talk about music because they talk about music all day in the street, this and that, listening to this and that. But even the young boys are not even able to express or know how to go back in time and talk about music.
Right.
So you can even help them out with even doing that and breaking certain things down of why you like, and that could just be just something that you just do and you just start on your own, you've been doing.
It could be turning into multiple different things.
Exactly, because you could even go into schools with this. You can make this your own thing, which I see that you're already doing now. Right. Because you already had the mindset of what you kind of want to do. So do you kind of want to teach kids? Do you want to go into the schools? How, besides being on Instagram and YouTube, where do you want to go with with your platform that you have? Because you do have a platform.
I do want to. I have a issue with talking about things that I'm trying to work towards. I always feel like, you gotta keep it.
Of course. But you don't have to say everything. Give the audience a little bit,
But you do gotta speak it into the air. So I do want to switch that up though. But I do in the end, what I would really like to do is keep, because I feel like this is something that could keep going. I would really like to have like, some actual, because I've had like a producer on there too,
Wow.
who's actually been, done play songs on
Okay.
albums. So I want to do stuff like that too, move on to like producers. They don't have to be the biggest name, but people who've been in the game, maybe people who've had passed in the game, people like, maybe say like a Greg Nice, a Rock from Helter Skelter, like people like that that's still around and I still bump into them, have them on the show as well. And then ultimately, I really want to have like I want to have a segment where I interview artists about a particular album.
Okay,
Let's
dope.
say, fucking like Keith Murray, somebody like that, like that's not really in the limelight, but I have a sit down with him and talk about his debut because that was a big album for him, probably his best album. And I'm sure people want to hear from him what was his mind state.
Of course.
Before getting a deal, and there's a lot of rap geeks out there, a lot of hip hop junkies, so. That would like to be something else I would like to get into as far as this interviewing artists, as far as particular album, whether it's their debut, whether it's their best selling, whether it's their favorite, just to get into their mind. And because, like I said, I just love talking and shit.
Right. And who would you want to come on your podcast as far as like an artist?
Shit, everybody, come through.
Yes, got that up.
I mean, realistically, because it's like I'm in the scene in New York, and there's people that you can actually touch. Pause, but you know what I mean. There's people you could get close to, so I would love to have for starters, like I said, like a guy like Rock from Helter Skelter. I see him around all the time. Someone from Brand Nubians. There's some people that I bump into or see them at events. Just start with the people who paved the way more. So I don't really want to jump to like who's hot or whatever like that. I want people who's gonna sit down and really
break it down.
Enjoy it, be excited about it as I am, because I'm learning and taking the info too.
Of course.
Like coming up, I was kind of ahead of everybody as far as like, how can I say, like this, everyone loving rap shit is new. Everyone didn't love rap in the early 90s. People liked it. They didn't live by it or die by it. I was already on that. So to be able to now come into people who are like me, who listen to every fucking album or buy every album, I enjoy that. I like being around them. So, I just want to be around that type of energy too. Let me know that, all right, there's people like that, and this is something that could be interesting to people.
No, it definitely can be, and I can see that it could go in many different ways when it comes to music, because music get people through their day, so it get people through their life. Definitely. So I think that it's deeper than just us, like people live through music, they just do.
They do.
They live through music, and I think like music give people hope, and it gives people different type of feeling for whatever you may be going through.
That's a good thing.
Especially in parties and just in your life, just in general.
Just to mellow out sometimes.
Exactly.
And I'm glad you said that, because I try, because that's the next thing I want to do too. I've already had a few segments where it's just not like music. It's how can I explain it? It's music, but it's more like music commentary. So I want to do that too. It's like not like a particular this song or this album, but like we did a segment about, should rappers have to come back to the hood after they are successful? Should they cut off, certain people? Should they, switch up the entourage and shit like that? Just commentary. What do you feel about ghostwriters? What music puts you in a good mood? What music puts you in a bad mood?
Right.
So like you said, it's just different.
What music get you hype?
What music get you hype? What so it's always just different lanes with it too.
It comes to music.
But I want to do commentary as well, just trading thoughts as far as music related, but it's still still ties into our everyday lives, like you said.
No, I think so, and I think that'd be really good to have like those different type of segments, because say you was to have your own TV show, you know exactly what the people want to hear. You know exactly what people want to see.
Right.
And you know what's going to gravitate to even like the OGs like back in the day. Because a lot of them want to talk about that stuff too.
A lot of them want to talk. That's why I kind of like, if you go through the list, you'll see it kind of, sometimes it jumps back and forth. Sometimes it'll be like some 90s shit. And then it'll be like I said, Freddie Gibbs or Meek Mills. Or it'll be some underground shit. Or we'll talk about Drake. Like, so I'm trying to pull all the music,
everything.
All the music lovers. I'm focused on, the junkies, hip hop junkies, but I still want the casual people. I still want to talk about popular shit because I like it too.
Of course.
It's just that shit, like people like Drake and Jay. That's very accessible. You can go anywhere and hear about them.
Exactly.
So,
but just to teach, like,
gotta flex. You know, I know about them too. So
no, and when they see like a young cat, I think that excites them, cause it's just like, wait, hold on, what he know about this?
Yeah,
he
I
can
ain't
go
trying
back in
to
time.
rub y'all the wrong way and act like this music is whack and yesterday's music's so much better. But nah, definitely, I'm
Well,
rocking
you
with
know,
y'all.
you just know music,
Yeah.
and you just wanna basically give back and talk about the music that really was really powerful and so.
It was really, that's a great way to say it, because it really was powerful. Not that the music that's coming out now isn't good or great, but I don't think it holds that same value. It doesn't even last as long. They're already on to the
No,
next.
it's true.
Whether it's good or bad
It's
music,
true.
they're on to the next. So.
And oh God, because my first show, Joe Melville, that we had on here, we really went in. Like, we went in, and it was great conversation. It was really, really, really powerful, because we talked about 6ix9ine, but we also talked about now and just how the music is just like everyone wants to do covers, right? And not everybody can do a cover. But I think a lot of times covers are what saves people, like save artists when they first come out.
Okay.
Especially to me, if they're not as strong as an artist.
Okay.
I think that let me just do a cover, because it's going to hit the younger generation, because they just going to click to it.
They gonna click to
You
it.
know, more us, when we hear a remix, we like, you know what I mean?
Nah, true.
We hear it.
True.
We may just bump to it. Don't get me wrong, because it's on 105, 97.1. It's just playing. And it might just sound good at that moment. But we kind of like, this is not the same.
It ain't sticking with us.
It's not sticking. Like, right now, don't get me wrong, R&B is cool. But I don't know, 10 years from now, or 5, I'm going to go 5 years, because I can't go 10 years. I'm just being honest. But, because, you know, we flying through these months like crazy. We about to be in November. So, 5 years, you go back 5 years, I don't know who I'm probably really going to want. Too much. Like, we got to Drake, okay. But I'm talking about like that Mary J. Blige,
Right.
like that Keith Sweat.
Right.
I'm talking about those kind of like, if I'm down now, say I'm going through a relationship issue or whatever it is, I'm going back to Mary J. I'm being real, because I was listening to her last night.
Who's even out?
And I was born in 92. So imagine that, and I'm going back to her.
Exactly.
I'm not, but that's my personality. So I'm not, what I'm saying is like, I'm not gravitating to anybody right now too much. I like certain people. Like, I like SZA. I like,
SZA's
certain
dope.
people. I do, but I like LMA. But I'm saying Deep Wounded.
They not hitting like that.
It's.
What about the new one? What's her name? Her?
Her's nice. Her haven't put out anything recently.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
they
It's
put
hard.
out songs, but it's not
powerful, like you
back
said.
to back.
It's
It's
not
not
powerful.
as a hit. Like, I want to hear that song. If somebody made me feel so hurt, and I'm in my feelings, and I'm angry, I gotta go back in the day and understand and pick myself up.
Even if you went with like Keisha Cole.
I go back to
and
Keisha.
That's still going back.
That's going back
That's
though.
still going back,
Keisha
so-
Cole, that's my girl right there. I was listening to her today, getting ready.
Okay.
So like,
Yeah.
you understand what I'm trying to say? It's like, because they hit you with their words, they hit you with the soul. Not saying that the R&B, they do,
It ain't the same.
but it's not. And I don't want to take away from
I
nobody
know, I
craft and
know.
nobody art, because
Right.
that's not what I'm doing here at all, at no means. Because I like them, and I listen to them, but I just don't feel that. I don't know that hurt connection. Even if I'm feeling hurt, like the party songs, yeah, okay, cool. But I'm talking about like that deep soulful thing. I don't really know.
I don't
Like,
know
even
if
Trey's songs, he fell off. I don't know what's going on with Trey. I'm like, okay, like he
Trey
has some
living
hits.
a good life right now. I don't know. He definitely ain't.
When he come out with certain things, it's like old stuff. You get what I'm saying? It's not really nothing that's really like hitting you. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
I think it's just
What do you-
music is
like-
just too fast. I just think I don't know, man. Cause like you said, cause you mentioned somebody like a SZA, and she comes off like an artist, someone who really passionate about the music.
Right.
and is creative. So I don't know, because that's mostly the issue for a lot of them. They're just not passionate and creative, but some are, and still, I don't know.
Yeah, some.
They
And
are.
the fact that you said like some aren't, like they love their craft, but they love music, but for some reason it's not as so like when Ella had that song, the song that made her a hit, Booed Up.
Okay, yeah.
That song was a hit. I like Booed Up, Booed Up, like, but I'm not going back and listen to Booed Up like 5 years later. Maybe not.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like when you really think about it, it's kind of like
last year.
I think it was like last year. I think so.
Right, rocked out.
And I'm not sure if I'm gonna go back. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I get exactly what you're saying. That's why I'm like, now your podcast is fire because you're really speaking the truth about music, and this is what we're listening to now and what we used to listen to, so we can differentiate and see the difference and hear the difference and know, like, for us, this is just our opinion.
Right.
Of how certain music hit us and certain music don't hit us in ways that we wish it would hit us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even R&B artists. So we not even get to the rap yet. But how do you feel about the rap right now?
I mean, I can't even do it. I'm gonna be honest. I tapped out. Like, that's why I capped the show off at like 2016. Like, anybody after that, I'm not really as vested. The music, you're not really sitting with it. Like NBA YoungBoy and Playboy Cardi, and like, they're not whack, but it's like the music is just flying by. The Baby, Lil Baby, the Gunna, like, it's just coming out. It sounds real similar too. A lot of it sound real similar.
Majority of them, yeah.
And they're not really topic driven. Like, no one really does like topic singles. I don't know if people know what that is. Like, before, you could have a single and it would be catchy, and you could have someone singing on it and it could be light, but they still were talking about something, like, you know what I mean? Not nothing deep, but it still was a topic.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
They also, but it's I Fast Money, and then like the younger crowd, they hop onto everything. So because they see certain things on Instagram, they hop on that person. As I see so many people hopping on to so many artists, and I'm just like, okay, I guess you know what I mean? Like, I guess certain songs, okay, that they may come out with is popping. You can relate to it.
But that's the thing. They knocking themselves, because it's like, that's what it be most of the time. You just drop a single and everybody's like, all right, it's cool, and then they move on to the next person.
Yeah. It's not really sticking to having albums or really songs really. And a lot of them have to get on features in order for them to like make a hit or something like that. Like,
I think
some of them.
What I want to definitely say is that it's not like there weren't whack people in the 90s, because that's a big argument, especially on the show, and just I'll be having with people on the regular. There definitely was whack people. It just wasn't as many, and they didn't get the same kind of light.
Right.
Like, if you were whack, you'd get your little shine, but you'd just be over there real quick, and that'd be that. You know what I'm Like, somebody like Blueface is like, you get your little mentions, and that'd be it. They wouldn't be acting like you was it.
Right.
They acting like Blueface is it, and I don't think we're gonna see him next year. Like,
but a lot of them is just, well, this generation is just caught up in just the hype and what they see people have, and they just gravitate into it. And then, like I said, if you have good marketers and managers behind you to push you, then that also helps. Because a lot of the time I'm listening to music and I'm kind of like, to give me motivation, not for nothing, Meek Mills. And I go back to his old album when he had I'm a Boss and flexing on him. And listen, I go back. He gets me hyped. Like, if I'm feeling down, or I'm feeling like, you know what, I don't know where I'm going, my next move, I gotta put him in the album. Like, I have to play his album. I have to listen to him. I have to go to YouTube. I'm going to be like, turn him down. You know, it gets real because and people don't understand. I like Meek Mill because I like what he's saying.
Right.
Because he talks about the struggle. And he talks about how you got to go out there and get it. In his way. Like, a lot of his songs is really pertaining more to his life.
I don't know why that gets overlooked so much. Though. Like he talk about flossing, but like,
He
like
do,
you say, he
but
talk
not
about
as
getting
much.
it. He talk about
To
getting
me,
it.
that's my opinion.
Motivation. He's
He
trying to
does,
motivate you.
right.
He talks about the street life as far as it not being the way to go and the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they be fronting on me. I love me.
Me, high five.
That's my guy.
I like Meek, and that's what I'm saying. I like Meek too. He gets me hyped.
But
Like
he comes from that cloth though. Like all those guys, even Drake, Kendrick,
I like
J.
Kendrick
Cole,
Lamar.
like they all come from big crit.
Wale too.
They
He's
come
big.
from that last cloth of people that felt that being nice was like priority.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's priority right now.
No,
And that's okay and that's cool because the game changes, but I think like they're the last bunch of people with. Not to say that there's nobody with talent, but I'm just saying for the most part in its entirety,
Yeah. But Wale, I also feel like he has a new album out.
Yeah,
and
they saying it's hot. I didn't get a chance to get it yet.
No, I listened to like about 3 songs so far on his album. I like Wiley. I think that he's a phenomenal artist.
Great talent.
Like great talent, and he stands by his artistry. He really does, and his music has meaning. And he kind of gives back to me within his music, especially when it comes to women of color. He really try to like put us in a different light. And I think that's powerful. He doesn't really do videos where he flossing too much. God bless you.
No real flossing.
No real flossing, but he has a little jewelry, things of that nature.
I mean, you gotta live life, right?
This is true, and
reap the spoils of your hard work. He's a sneakerhead, and shit, but he's not flashing you to death. Like he's not flashing riches in your face and have you.
No, he's not doing that. Right? He doesn't do that, and I think that. That's a powerful artist that you can still be where you at and still not have to do that. You get what I mean? Because when you do those, I'm not saying when we get to where we need to be that we're not gonna wear certain things because it comes with it, right? And so we may wear some of the stuff right now, but we're not gonna. What I'm saying is like you don't have to just portray just that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yes, it's nice to have high-end clothing and jewelry, things of that nature. But when you do those things and you only show those things, then you become the same. And this is why it's so chaotic now with the generation that's coming before us and that's going to come after us because they're going to think that they need all those things in order to survive. Or in order to be in, I got to have this on. I can't be myself. I have to fit in. I have to wear this. I have to wear that. He doesn't do that. Even when he put on certain things, to me, it looks regular. Right. Like, he doesn't overdo it. Nah. And because I think that he just really loves exactly what he's made to do, which is music. And to be known for his artistry. And I think he gets it. And I think that he's not allowing anything, like, superficial to come in between that. I don't see that from me watching him from the time he came into this game up until now. Like he hasn't shown any of that. Like he hasn't shown it. But that's just his personality. And
he stuck to it.
And some people just like that. And it's not like J. Cole. He does that too, though.
Right.
J. Cole, I haven't seen him put on.
Especially as of late. He ain't even.
He don't go crazy.
Nah, he ain't really going too hard. He a little OD though, but. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. Like,
he does not go crazy, and he's focused on his artistry. And you gotta love people that's like that because they have it. They don't have to flaunt it because they have it. But they content within themselves, within their art, because that's what they feel like they was on this earth to do.
Right.
So they letting their artistry speak for itself because they can have all of that. Because you have that on doesn't make you better than anybody else because you have that on. You get what I'm saying? So it's like certain people feel like they have to do that, and it's not that many. Showing houses, that's motivation. Things like that is powerful. But like jewelry, stuff like that, sometimes it's just like you gotta talk to these kids, and this is why your show is very strong because you eliminating what they don't know and telling them what they need to know, but in a way wherein it's not just pushed on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could come with somebody that's older and sit there and talk about and listen and learn something. Because now it's not, people back then are better. No.
Right.
It's not that.
It's not that.
Like, I could bring my sister, or I could possibly bring my nephew, and we can sit there and talk about back in the day, and they can give their view of now, and then we can converse like that.
Yeah.
And that's a powerful podcast.
I mean, that's how it usually is. I know on the camera you only see 3 people, but a lot of the time it's like 8 people there because I'm doing more than one segment.
And that's dope that you can hold it down and you're by yourself.
And I'm by myself, so after each take we spend like 15 minutes debating or conversating before I can get to the next one.
And you can break it up. And you think about these ideas on your own, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, sometimes if an artist has a take, if a guest has a take they want to bring, they can bring the take. But for the most part, I chop up all the segments. But if there's a tape, something I want to address, I might come with that. Or like I said, I might just go off their list of artists they like or albums they like, and just try to freak it from there. Sometimes it gets difficult though. I can't front. Sometimes your mind just ain't there, and
of course
you don't want to just come with no dry shit. So
sometimes
it's like, but for the most part, I enjoy it. I like creating it, and I like when guests come and they enjoy the questions. A lot of times they say it's good questions, unique, something that they didn't expect. So I kind of enjoy that.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. How often do you do your podcast?
It varies really. Like it depends. Like when I first started, I was doing it more often. Like last month, I did two weekends in a row. It varies.
Okay.
Yeah, because it depends. Like now, I meet so many people, and they be like, "Yo, can you do one?" Because I'm trying to really fall back for a little while and promote, and look at the footage and do like more trailers because I have a few trailers of all the clips. But every time I meet people, they be like, "Yo, nah, just shoot one more, just shoot one."
Right,
so
right.
I'll be like,
and as an artist, you're like, okay, I have to do it.
And it's new people, so it's like I want as many new people as possible. So
exactly. Just keep going.
Yeah, the next one I'm doing though is November 9th. I actually did one 2 weeks ago, October 5th. So the next one I'm doing is November 9th. That's probably going to be the last one for the year.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to get more organized.
No,
because I do like promo
you gotta
on
clap
Twitter
that up.
too.
Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up for that. Being organized.
Yeah.
I think that's unique that you said that because sometimes you have to get organized.
Gotta get organized.
And sometimes when you just put stuff out, sometimes you're like, I don't really like it. So the fact that you say, you know what, November 9th is the last time I have my show, and I'm going to get refocused.
Yeah, look through some footage. Plus, I'm running that Twitter, I'm running it heavy. I promote artists on there, so I'm still working. I want to focus more on that as far as organizing that, how I'm promoting them and their videos and their albums and stuff like that too. So the Go Get a TV too on Twitter, you're already.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So you're doing big things, and you're already organized because you already know what you want to do and how you want to do it. You're already on Twitter. You're getting people, you networking, and that's extremely powerful that you're doing everything, especially on your own. That's unique. Even though you have people that helped you side by side.
No, I know what you
but
mean. No,
when I say on your own,
it's
this is just you, because this is you bringing it to the forefront. Even though you're asking, for ideas and things of that nature. So what word would you give people who feel like they want to start a podcast, or they just don't know where they want to go in life, or they just feel like, what, I can't do this anymore because it's not picking up the way I want it to?
Oh, well, the last one, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's all in your mind state because I go through that as well. And I just try to find, I would say talk to other creatives because I find that helpful. In the last month or so, I've chopped it up with other people who have like online stuff, managers, promoters, and see what their perspective is. I will say this, I've been doing this for a minute as far as grinding in the indie scene and trying to be a creative, whether it was music, whether it was shows. And everybody I've met, I've never met anyone that said it was easy, whether they were a producer, whether they were a manager, whether they, the podcast shit is kind of new, but, so I would just say that, don't expect it to be easy. And if you're not passionate about it, I wouldn't even bother. If you're just looking at it as an angle, it's not going to work.
That's deep.
Yeah, it's not going to work because number one, it's like music now. If you're doing a podcast, everyone is.
Yes.
So,
everyone, say it again, please.
Everyone is. So at this point now, you got to bring something to the table and you got to be serious. That's what caught my eye with you. Like I said, we bumped into each other before, but you promoted it. You said you were going to do it. Shit dropped. When it dropped, I saw you talking about it regularly.
Yeah.
I see you following up like The first thing I would say you're gonna lose is if it matters to you on Monday and it doesn't matter on Wednesday, then you're gonna lose.
Say that again, please, in the camera, please. I think my show is you keeping it real and you speaking your truth, but you also telling people you're not trying to hide it. You're not trying to hide the struggle. And I think that this is why I want to bring it to the forefront, and this is why I'm being the way I am. Even with artists that come on that's powerful and they strong about their craft is because we're in the forefront. So now we put in the footsteps and then we really see what it's like. Opposed to just sitting in the house or just seeing someone else do it. And you think that it's easy. Or you think you don't know how they got started. Because it's a mind thing. That mind hustler can really kill you because it can say, you know what, you ain't never gonna do it. And you can't do it. You understand? That mind hustler is a killer. So the fact that you even said that and you shine a light I want to drop some gems for people to understand that it's a grind. It's a grind. And not only do Demi D feel this way about his craft, but I also do. And I also keep it real that sometimes it's like, I don't know. And you have that. I think that every artist has that. And it is so strong. And it's so important to me that I keep it real and I drop some gems for people who want to do this work. A podcast about music and may feel like, you know what, I can't do it. Or they want to talk about gospel and have a pop. You just never know what people want to. You just never know. But you opening that door to talk about hip hop. Even just the music that you're talking about that's beyond us, it's still a great thing to do because this is your lane. Yeah. But you love what you do.
And I'm willing to work. That's the difference.
Right.
It's like you gotta be willing to work. Like even sometimes my friends and I'll be like, yeah, I'm about to go check this event. Like every time it's not a party every time. Like sometimes you're tired.
It's work.
Sometimes you don't really feel like even talking to nobody. So you gotta be willing to take those days too. Sometimes it's the best fucking night ever. You know?
High five to that. No, seriously, because you just never know. I agree.
You just gotta be willing to work through that too. You gotta work through that. I don't feel like it days. Like I shoot on Saturdays. That's my days off. Sometimes I wake
working
up.
hard, clap it out. Hard working men out here.
That's my day off. Sometimes I wake up and it's like, I'm not really in the mood today. Like, I'm not feeling if you ask me-ish.
Right.
But it's already booked. It's already time to go. Everybody's ready. And you gotta come with energy. You can't come slacking. Everybody gonna look at you like, oh.
And you don't want a bad rep.
You don't want a bad rep. You want people to enjoy the experiences as well too. So. So just be real with it, and the main thing I must stress, if I don't say anything else, if you think your friends are going to be your main clientele, don't even bother. If you're not going to grind to get new people or be willing to network or go out there, don't even bother. If you think your friends are going to be your main clientele.
Because they're not.
They're not.
And I'm glad you said that as well. Because we get caught up in that, and we get caught up in the hype because we're friends, we go out, we break bread, we do this, we do that, we gossip, But when it comes down to the nitty gritty of doing something that you may want to do, you may not have nobody there.
Won't even give you a share.
It won't even give you a share. So, and it gets real.
It's real.
And I think it's getting real more now than ever. Like it's coming more to the forefront of what friends are and what you seek to have it within the friend. I think now it's huge now because so many people are now trying to become entrepreneurs and they starting to see like, okay, I can do this with you, I can do this with you, but when I ask you to do this, you can't even do this for me. So now it's becoming very clear of what it is that I want in a friend. And not just hanging out. You know, if you can't do this, then what we got in common? You understand what I'm saying? So definitely. I'm glad that you said that because that's important for people to know, and it's so true. Don't feel discouraged with him saying that, but he's dropping some gems because he knows that he's doing it. So he knows what it feels like to not have someone to support him as a friend. And to have other people that he's not working with to support him. And it becomes that way. Because every successful person that you see, sometimes it's not always their friends.
Nah, and it's usually like, if you really, I'm gonna speak to music because that's really more so what I'm knowledgeable on. But even if you think about like what Bill Gates, right? He partnered up with somebody he didn't know. Usually it's friends from outside. You know, Jay-Z met Dame. You had, Fab Met Clue.
Exactly.
You usually just meet someone from a different neighborhood that's like-minded like you.
And make it work. Because sometimes and this is what I try to tell people, being outgoing helps. If that's your personality and it's something that you want to do, you have to. Because your friend is not going to always be there to help you for whatever reason it is, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
And that's totally okay, because what your dream is, their dream is not.
Right.
And we have to understand that. But we also have to understand that we have to leave people too when they don't want to support as well. Because your dream not being my dream, that's okay. But what you're not going to do is try to be there and not want to support. So that's a whole other discussion. So I'm really glad that you bring that up, because you're bringing up some powerful things for people to think about sitting at home, or may not even have a clue, and say, you know what, I want to do this, but my friend is not. I know why. It could be a lot of things.
It's a lot of
things.
But
one thing, if you don't support me, I know this one thing, you can't come along. Period. Because you're not coming along for the ride.
And it's so much easier to support nowadays, too.
Yeah, it's very easy.
You ain't really got to do much.
You don't have. You have to
hit that button. That's it. Hit that button.
Share it every time I do something. Just share it. It don't hurt you to just share it.
Mention it. Hey, my peoples do this.
Because you never know who may be watching that person or whatever. Because you never know how social media is.
Right.
And your friends is not the end result of you getting put on.
Right. That's another thing
it's
too.
Not.
Even if they did support you, you should be looking past that as well.
Exactly.
Like that should just be like your little groundwork, not your groundwork or your startup.
Exactly. So I'm definitely glad that you said that, because that's also true. That I'm like, for me, like, I like to keep it real. I used to think that. And that's because I had to branch out and I had to learn.
It's about experience.
And you have to grow.
Yeah.
Everything is about growth. And I had to learn that. And now that I'm learning that, I'm so grateful and blessed that I'm able to still do what I love to do. And it didn't dictate, they don't want to support me, because a lot of the times you have to eliminate people in your life. When you grow, you have to drop people. And sometimes when you're growing, it teaches you that sometimes they don't belong to come with you. And not only because they don't want to share or they don't want to support, you and them are not on the same level.
They're just not mentally ready.
And you can't be with people like that, especially when you're trying to go, when you're taking something serious that you love to do.
Right.
Sometimes you just can't. So certain things, expose people. And you also have to pay attention to those signs when that happens and not feel discouraged that it cannot happen, because everything is possible when you put it in the universe and when you believe and you give it faith. Like right now, this is faith. You understand what I'm trying to say? We both doing something. We both starting from the ground up, but we love exactly what we do. And we understand the meaning of what we're doing, and we're growing. That's why we sitting here in front of you guys today to teach you that it's very difficult. Networking is very difficult, but when you love what you do, and you have your own podcast, if you ask me, that's true. He's not doing it because it's just for fun. He's doing it because he loves to do it. But knowing that he's taking faith in doing what he's doing. So we definitely have to give him his respect for that and clap it up as a young black man on taking that leap, because it's definitely not easy. But let everybody know where they can find you on all social media platforms, and definitely how they can get in contact with you if they want to come on your podcast.
So off top is Demi D, the go-getter, Mr. Everywhere, You're Never There. You can catch If You Ask Me every Sunday on my YouTube channel, The Go-Getter TV. If you want to come through or you just want to chop with me, man, I'm on Twitter every day at The Go-Getter TV. You can just hit me up. I'm on IG too. Demi D, man, is my IG name, and you can just hit me up on either one if you want to just talk music or if you want to come through. You're already. You heard it here. This is your girl, Sach'eMI, Speak Your Truth with the wonderful Demi D. Guys, go check him out on YouTube, like I said. And you guys have a great Saturday. Peace. Peace. Shout out to you. Thank you. No problem. Anytime. Thank you. Like, for